you're currently watching the Just Kidding Around show. Thanks so much for joining us. We have a special guest this week, Bill, right?
Right.
Hi, Bill. Is that Bill Collins?
It's Bill Collins.
I want to thank
Hi,
you for joining us.
Thank you.
And if you're interested in his attire, it...
Do you want a guided tour?
It gives you an idea of what the show's about. We're going to be talking about bagpiping today. So first time, all the years this show's been on, I've never done a show on bagpiping.
Well, I'm glad I could be the first one.
Yeah. Well, and before we start, Bill, I like to look in the camera and say hi to somebody. I usually say hi to Mr. Feeney.
I should probably say hi to the Olympia Highlanders. I hope they're watching.
Yeah, we'll have to make
So
sure.
hi, gang.
So you're representing them.
I am.
Wow, I have to make sure you do a good job.
I do. And if I make a mistake, they will all tell me. And if I'm dressed, if I'm not dressed perfectly, there's one member of the band in particular who will let me know.
All right. Well, hi to Liddy Hawk in South Bay. I work at both those schools. So, well, welcome.
Thank you.
And you live in Olympia, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Not in Scotland?
Not in Scotland.
All right. Are you Scottish in any way?
Not that I'm aware.
So how did you get interested? How did that happen?
15 years or so ago, Christmas time. It was Christmas Day. We had family at the house and some friends, and our neighbors were there. It was early in the afternoon while we were starting to fix dinner. I'm in the kitchen peeling potatoes with an apron on. We lived in the country, and I heard bagpipes playing, just very, very faintly. And I looked around, and I thought, I wonder what's going on. And in our driveway was coming 4 people, 3 teenagers, one playing the pipes and 2 drumming, all 4 of them wearing kilts and the whole, not quite this outfit.
You mean like door-to-door Christmas caroling?
Well, that's sort of what I thought. And the 4th guy was an older man carrying a large black box. And my first thought was my wife has arranged for a little bagpipe concert as a Christmas treat. Well, it wasn't that simple. They came to the back door. The door opens. The young people step aside. The guy comes up, opens the box. These are inside it, and says, "Merry Christmas." And it's been downhill ever since.
So you didn't go searching for bagpiping.
No.
Bagpiping came to you.
Yeah, with that, with the pipes, which were wearing a different jacket, so to speak, at the time, came the phone number for the Highlanders. And
so did your wife buy this for you?
She bought it on just sort
whim?
of a last minute, just a whim.
Wow.
And
she had no idea you'd be interested.
She thought I was going to be interested, which kind of surprised me because I didn't realize I was going to be interested.
How long had you been married to her at that point? About
25 years.
So she knew you better maybe than you knew. Are you Scottish at all?
No, not that I can tell.
You don't look Scottish.
No.
I've been to Scotland quite a few times.
English background,
I
some
could believe
Scandinavian,
that.
maybe some Irish with a name like Collins. But,
So now, how long once you got this bagpipe? Is this the same bagpipe or
this is
different?
the same. This part is the same. The insides have changed over 2 or 3 times because they wear out.
Okay.
The insides look sort of
like a bladder,
like
almost.
This, or a stomach of some
inside
animal.
of this.
Yeah,
okay.
inside
And this is what
the
wears
cover.
out then.
Yeah.
Not the cover.
Yeah. These particularly traditionally these were just leather, and they get moisture inside and stuff starts to grow and there's a ailment called bagpiper's lung that one hears about from time to time.
Is that true, really?
Well, there's a little flap on the blowpipe that when you blow in lets air in, but when you stop blowing, it closes and prevents the air from blowing back into your.
Oh, all right.
So
it should be perfectly safe.
But anyway, you start with something like this. It's called a practice chanter, and it's not as loud as the pipes, and so you can play this in your house and not drive your family crazy and the animals nuts.
Okay, now do you have to read notes to play bagpipes?
You read music the same as treble clef, just the top line of a piano, and it's only one line of notes. You're not playing more than one note at a time.
So it's fairly easy.
And there's only 9 notes. We have just 1 note more than an octave. So if you can read music at all, that part of it is relatively simple.
How old? You're in a group called the Olympia Highlanders, is that right? How many people are in that group?
20 to 25.
And how old is your youngest member?
We have some drummers in training who are probably 10 or 11.
Oh, really?
We've had pipers as young as 13, 14. Most of us are older in our band because people tend to come to the Highlanders as adults, sort of the way I did. You can find other bands, particularly in Canada, where they actively recruit kids and they're sort of the equivalent of youth soccer teams.
Oh,
They're very competitive and very involved and a lot more intense than
And they
we do
wear
things.
the same outfits and everything?
They wear an outfit that's not quite as elaborate as this. We are one of the few bands that I'm aware of that still wears this full sort of military regalia, and we only wear it in the winter or on cold days because this is a really, really warm outfit to wear.
Is this all
if you're
wool?
playing. This is all wool.
Oh my goodness. I know normally I wouldn't ask this. This is kind of embarrassing, but do you mind me asking how much this outfit would cost?
Around $1,600.
Oh, so it makes it expensive for a kid.
If you're outfitting a kid, it makes it expensive. Now we provide virtually everything that you can see that I'm wearing.
The Highlanders pay for it?
The Highlanders pay for it.
Okay.
Funding for us is a constant issue. Just because we get paid we get funding primarily just from being paid for playing. We don't have corporate donors that support us. So
and does everybody that joined the Highlanders do you get this
everything?
beautiful brooch?
What you see here, we all have one of these, and we can wear this maybe half a dozen times a year. Our summer uniform is the same kilt with just a short sleeve light shirt.
Okay.
And the socks or
And
hose
the
are
kids
similar.
are just miniatures of you guys.
Yeah. So
Whether they're drumming or piping, they all wear the same.
Well, the pipers wear a different tartan than we do.
Oh,
They
really?
wear a tartan that's more green and blue,
Okay.
a Douglas, which is a traditional piper's tartan. This is a red McPherson tartan that the pipers wear.
McPherson?
Well, now we have a member of the Clan McPherson in the band, and he would require that I corrected you that it's McPherson, not McPherson.
I didn't know if you were mispronouncing it.
No,
If you were
because
studying high.
there's no
Okay.
fear in McPherson, as they tell you. So
McPherson.
McPherson,
That's okay. So this is the McPherson clan, you said?
This
the
is
tartan?
one of the
This is a
they
tartan?
have maybe 15
But
different
but all
tartans.
you guys are probably from different clans, but you still, even though you're in one group, you wear the same.
Whatever
tartan.
when the band started, they settled on this one, and every pipe band will have one tartan that they wear, and again, it's who's there first that gets to pick.
Oh, I see. That's how that happens. Have you ever gone to Enumclaw at the end of?
Yes.
That is incredible. People come from all over the United States and all over Canada, and there's all the piping bands, and of course they all have different tartans, and it's just, and then they play Amazing Grace at the end, and when those bands come marching at you, it's just like, it just takes your breath away. It's just
to listen
powerful.
to 400 pipers and drummers come at you is
Yeah.
amazing, but to be in the middle of it
Oh, that's
is
powerful
just
too.
the first time I was there, I felt like I was about a foot off the ground when they all started to play. It's
And I always
remarkable.
get in the front row and sit on the ground, just wait for them to come, just something. So if you guys, is it still at the King County Fairgrounds? King County Fairgrounds, the last week of July every year, they have this big piping thing, and you feel like you're in Scotland, really.
Yeah,
sort
there's
of, you know.
piping, dancing,
Yes.
the traditional Scottish games, tossing the caber,
Yes,
all
yes.
kinds of
And
vendors.
the dog races.
So
and-
it's 2 days.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous event, and literally the best pipe band in the world comes down to that every year. The Simon Fraser University Band from Vancouver. So if you're really, really interested in hearing literally the best band, or depending on how they do on this year's World Championships, but one of the top 5 bands in the world.
Yeah. That's
They're
to
there,
go.
and they are just amazing.
Yeah, plan that right now. Mark that down on your calendar and plan to go. So, and it's a 3-day event, isn't it?
2
But
days.
it's 2 days.
2 day, yeah.
Yeah.
There may be something on Friday night, but it's mostly Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and people camp out and stay there at the fairgrounds, but I just go for the Sunday to see the final. So, are you going to play for us today?
Sure,
Would you mind? What tunes are you going to play?
Well, I'm going to play. I'll play one first that we have, when people come up to a piper and say, would you play, they can usually never quite remember what they want. They know what they want, but they can't remember the name of it. They'll
Yeah.
say Amazing Grace.
Yes, that's always there.
And the other one, and we sometimes call it the Dum Dum song.
Really?
Not because of the question being asked, because it goes dum dum da dum
Oh.
dum dum.
Da, da.
So it's Scotland the Brave.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So
okay,
let's-
wait, I
okay,
got it.
you
Don't
unhook
go
me.
anywhere. And you don't need this for the bagpipe, right? Bagpipe's pretty loud.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, is that actually, here, let me mic you up. I'm not supposed to talk to you to your mic. Here, that's good.
you go.
Is that actually Scotland's theme song?
No,
The
it
national song?
is the. I don't think Scotland has a national anthem, but that's not. They have votes from time to time on songs that they would like to select, and that is maybe in the top 5. But
Is it?
a tune called "Flower of Scotland" is
Okay.
usually the one that most people would pick, I think.
But that's called Scotland the Brave.
Scotland the Brave.
And how old is that song, maybe?
I could not tell you.
That it's a couple
Unfortunately,
hundred years old, though.
it might be that old. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh. And can you tell me, is it true that bagpipers were the first ones out in battle? And what was the purpose of the bagpiper?
At least in at times, yes, they were. Something like 1,000 pipers were killed in World War I because they would be, as I understand it, the first ones out of the trenches, and they are leading the troops, and the music has the ability to incite passion, and I've heard that Germany declared the pipes an instrument of war. So piping, and I've also heard that if you were a conscientious objector, you tended to be turned into a piper. So you might not have to carry a gun, but you'd be the first one out to be shot at anyway.
So were they the bravest of the brave? They just went out in battle and played their pipes?
And there are those who would say that just because they were playing, if you don't like bagpipes, let's shoot the bagpiper first.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. Was there a special song that they played? Did they play Scotland the Brave?
They probably played that. There would be other songs. That generally, there's half a dozen tunes that lump into a category called Tunes of Glory that would probably
and
be
that was one
commonly
of them.
played. That would be one of
go
them.
into war with
Yeah.
that's not the original history of the bagpipe.
Well,
though, is it?
the pipes in Scotland were associated with clans, and there would be the clan chieftain, and then there would be a clan piper, who was fairly high ranking in the hierarchy.
So just one piper.
Typically, maybe one in training, and he would play for all sorts of occasions, birthdays, funerals, weddings,
Yeah.
you name it, if it was at a special occasion, and might write a tune for that. And so that's the tradition, and I think, as at least in Scotland, and I think that they would probably also pipe then as the clans went into battle, and Scottish clans, it seemed like were always fighting one another, if not the British or the English. So.
Yeah. So now, when you joined the Olympia Highlanders, are you required? Is that the first song you have to learn? Scotland
We have
that like a requirement?
6 tunes that we ask newcomers to be able to play before they can get suited up and march with the band, and that's one of the 6. Amazing Grace is another one.
Okay, so even the children would have to.
Children, it's surprising. Children can learn this instrument, I think, frequently better than adults. It seems like their minds are more open, and certainly their fingers are more limber. I've heard 10-year-olds play, and they're so small. You think, how can they get a noise out of this thing?
Yeah.
Let alone play it so well,
Yeah.
better than me by a long shot. So,
Do the bags sound differently, or how does that work?
the bags, no, the instruments all should sound as much alike as possible. And when you're playing in an ensemble, in particular, you want all the instruments tuned precisely together.
So you don't have different parts.
Yeah, our band, as do most bands, bought matched chanters. This part of the instrument, the part that makes the music, small. I've got a separate version here. So we have these things that are all identical now to help us produce a uniform sound, and we will typically. This is the reed. This is the thing that makes the noise come out of this, and we try to use the same reeds now. And this sounds, the evolution of the noise that comes out of this between. If I'm going to blow this in a second.
Okay, yeah.
And then to see what happens when you put it in the chanter. But
Okay. All right.
less than musical.
Yeah, that sounds like a duck call.
It does.
So anybody could just practice with that at home.
You can practice. This is hard to blow.
That's all you really need, though.
Yeah, this is hard to blow. So you use this thing's almost exactly the same. It's got a little bit different reed, a little easier to play.
Okay. Where do you just buy these at any music store?
You,
Or do you
you
have
know,
to,
you need a Scottish, someplace that's selling Scottish
Internet
stuff.
maybe,
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
That's easier to listen to.
It's much easier to listen to, and it's
Yeah.
easier to play. So you can practice this and make noise come out of it without having a feeling that your eyes are going to pop out of your head.
Yeah.
When you graduate from playing this, learning on this, to playing the pipes, it's as though you go back about 5 steps because it's so much, physically, so much more work
Demanding.
to get noise
Yeah.
to come out of those than it is to get it to come out of
Yeah.
this. So.
Yeah. And actually, I don't have any kids, but if I did have a kid and they were playing a bagpipe in the house, that's a little loud. It's kind of almost a piercing sound. I love it, and it's powerful, but when you're in a house, it's a little.
It's an outdoor
little much.
instrument.
Yes,
it's not something you want to hear up close unless
really.
you're really, really into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you've been playing it for 15 years. Have you seen a growth in do you think you're better now than you used to be?
I'm better than I was at one point. I
Yeah.
don't know whether I'm better than I was 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm
So
certainly
you kind
better.
of plateaued.
Yeah.
Are there in the group? Is that the group that Ralph Monroe's in?
He was.
Oh,
he
he
was
dropped
one
out?
of the founders. Yeah. And
Okay.
he's still a big supporter of us.
Yeah,
But,
because he was like Grand Marshal or something up in Enumclaw, or used to
yeah,
be.
very active in the Scottish community in the state.
So do you have within the organization pipers that are better and they have certain ranks, like first chair or something like that?
We don't rank them the way an orchestra would, but we do certainly have pipers that are better than others. And we have one young man who started with us when he was about 13 or so, and was totally committed to learning the instrument. He roared past all of us in ability in about 2 or 3 years and embarked on solo competitions. He's about
my
20
goodness.
now, and he's playing at a grade 1 level, which in bagpiping parlance means you're right up there with the really superb pipers.
So he's like the guru of the old
Yeah,
band
he
or
works
something?
he works with us now. He comes back and helps
Wow.
helps the bands. But he's
Yeah.
remarkable, and he has an ambition of playing with Simon Fraser, the band I mentioned in Vancouver. So
Fabulous.
it's exciting
He's
for
only
to watch him.
20.
Yeah.
Well, there's a website that they can go to. Is that right? If they want to join, can they go to the website?
OleHighlanders.org. There it is on the screen.
Oh, yeah, thank you
Or
for
just
putting
type
that
in
up.
Olympia Bagpiping
Okay.
and Google it, and it'll come up.
Do you
and,
have
and
regular meetings? Could they sit in on meetings
Sure.
and kind of feel to see what's going on?
We practice every Thursday at
Oh.
Smitty's Deli on the west side, Office Park.
Wow. Well, I might come join you then.
Yeah, you'd be welcome
I can
to
just
sit in.
go and watch.
Yeah.
Maybe videotape you, and
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
do another show and feed
Yeah,
it in here.
we've got an event coming up in a month, and we're kind of focusing now on. I'm not supposed to give
No.
dates, but so we're going to be a little focused on in the practices
Oh,
for a
got
while
it.
right
Okay.
now. But
So in general, throughout the course of a year, what are some of your main events if we wanted to see you play?
sort of at running from the first part of the year through the end, the first major event is the ethnic celebration at the Washington Center. We do the
And when's that?
cottage fair.
January?
It's early February.
Early February, okay.
Cottage fair in early March. We play all day at O'Blarney's on St. Patrick's Day,
But wait a minute.
which is the most fun.
St. Patrick's Day I thought was Irish.
Well, I know, but we have there's a little bit of
Okay.
green in this kilt.
Do they have bagpipers in Ireland?
They do have. Ireland has a pretty good
Great,
bagpiping
then I want you to
tradition.
come to my school for St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Well, not, you'll be at Blarney's, but
well,
the day
you can
before or the
squeeze
day
in
after maybe.
sometime.
Okay, so March, you play for St. Patrick's Day, and then,
Let's see some of the other events. Wooden Boat Show we play for.
Oh.
Lake Fair is our biggest parade locally.
all right. And
Play-
then you travel too?
We play everywhere from Bainbridge Island to South Bend or so.
Wow.
Well, not everywhere, but that's sort of the north-south range. We play at Bainbridge Island, their 4th of July parade,
Yeah.
because Ralph Monroe has been inviting us up there for
Oh,
years
I
and
see.
years and years.
Do you have a favorite event?
Oh, it's hard to say. Bainbridge Island is very good because the crowd is very responsive. It's a wonderful community parade.
yeah. Okay.
And so the crowd is very thick, and part of the route they're very close, and so you can hear them responding, and that's
Okay.
that's exciting.
I thought you were going to say Enumclaw was your favorite.
Well,
you go there, Matt?
we do, and
Yeah.
we've been fortunate enough. We don't compete, but we've been fortunate enough to play as sort of a roving band at Enumclaw the last
Okay.
couple of years, and march through the exhibit areas, and that's up close and personal too.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are almost reaching out and touching you
Oh.
as you go by.
Yeah, and it's always hot that time of year because you see a lot of
Yeah.
young guys running around with their kilts and bare-chested.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And the Wicked Tinker, do you know who they are?
I do.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of a wild
Yeah.
bohemian bunch.
They
you
have
know?
played at times at O'Blarney's,
I know. I used to go see them there.
and we have played. A few of
With
us have
them?
played with them.
Oh,
They'll let us
yeah.
play like 1 or 2 numbers right at the end of
And
the
they
show.
incorporate that huge didgeridoo.
Yeah, they're
well, you
cool.
know what? I'd love to have you back again sometime.
I'd
And
love
I'd like
to come.
if I can come to
Sure.
Smitty's and tape you guys.
Yeah.
Right
Can
now
I-
we're getting ready to close though.
Can I do one more number?
Well, that's why I'm wondering if we can close on
Sure.
you. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to say goodbye to Mr. Feeney. Thank you, our viewers. Tune in again, and contact the Olympia Highlanders if you're interested. Thank you,
you.
Bill, for coming. Play some more. You can go ahead. You want to play some more? They're doing indie.